Hey, this is Rick. Welcome to Spit Take, where we talk shit and make fun of each other. And now my co-host, Adam.
Hello.
And Stef.
Hello.
So aliens are coming out of the ocean now, huh?
What?
Fuck are you talking about?
You didn't hear about that? No.
No.
The government actually admitted aliens live in the ocean, which I knew about this years ago from the Bermuda Triangle. There was always documentaries on this, but now they confirm aliens live in the ocean. So my thing is, because they've had like the hieroglyphics had like weird technologies and stuff on it that look like it exists today. So my question is, the aliens, do they actually live here, and where are the aliens?
Well, you had that, who was it? It was like some high-ranking government official, I think it was like from Israel or something, like coming out and saying like, yeah, aliens are real. We've known about this for some time. Like right around the pandemic times, and nobody even batted an eye to it. Like,
oh yeah, I remember that.
They've like legit admitted that aliens exist and they live here on this planet. And everybody was like, nah, that's fine, whatever. We don't care. It's murder hornets and COVID and all this other shit.
At that point, it was like, all right, level up.
Yeah. Well, if you look at, I think that, yes, there is a possibility that we descended from aliens or whatever, that they landed here or something like that. But I mean, that's kind of also the theory, isn't it, of the single cell organisms, that they arrived here on a meteor that landed on the planet and then spawned all the life on Earth. Like, that's the theory, obviously, but I don't know. It's so weird.
Like, I am scared of aliens because I've always believed that they're real. And it's funny that you bring this up because last night I was sleeping and I woke up in the middle of the night and it looked like there was an alien figure inside my door. And I just like threw my covers over my head and I'm like, nope, just going to pretend that didn't happen. So.
Yeah, I'm always scared of that too, especially when you see the movies and stuff about that. But here's the thing: aliens in the ocean. What movie covers that?
That was
The Little Mermaid.
Been a lot.
The Abyss.
The Abyss, yes, there was The Abyss. Pacific Rim, technically,
but The Abyss was very specific about it. Now, the Close Encounters of the Third Kind, apparently Steven Spielberg actually talked to a high-ranking official, interviewed him about that before he made that movie, and one of those officials is like actually in the movie.
Sphere was the other one that was aliens in the ocean. That was a good one.
So he had like a leg up basically on what was going on.
So the elites know about these aliens. Trump even said on Joe Rogan, if you heard that recently, that there's something to it. And once he's in office, he's going to start letting the documents out. They have been having high-ranking officials and guys that were in the Air Force and Navy talk in front of Congress and talk about these experiences. And I think we're so jaded by it because our generation went through so much. So we're like, aliens, what else?
Yeah, fuck it.
I watched this documentary about a woman, the Manhattan Bridge or something woman, and she was like supposedly abducted by aliens and like she was floating out of her condo.
On the documentary on Netflix?
Yeah. And it's like, is it real? Is it not real? Is this woman just like really good at storytelling? I still don't know.
Yeah.
So I have had an experience when I was in high school. No joke. Me and my buddy said there's these weird lights up in the sky. And so we lived in a small town, Gardner, Illinois. No one's ever heard of it. And so we went to the edge of town where the Casey's is at. It's a small podunk town. And there's these weird lights in the sky. So we're taking pictures and we were using Polaroid. We didn't have phones. So we weren't using Polaroid. We were taking pictures with a disposable camera. And then the lights kind of just went in circles and then zoomed off. When we went to get the film done, all those pictures were taken out.
What?
And they cut our price.
That's weird.
I'm not even joking.
See, that's one of those things. So aliens, ghosts, I've never had experiences with either of those things. I'm open to the possibility that they are real, but I've never personally seen it. I want to, but I've just never seen any evidence of it in real life. And, I watch the YouTube videos and stuff, but who knows how much of that's fake and bullshit. But like, I've never experienced any of those things. I mean, I thought I did for a long time, but it turned out it was actually that I just have sleep paralysis on occasion. And I didn't know that. And I just thought I was seeing demons. But no, it turns out it was sleep paralysis, but I haven't had it in a long time. But that'll scare the shit out of you, that's for sure.
Well, I mean, our house growing up, Kim and I experienced stuff a lot, all in my room. I don't know why they chose me, but like Kim and I had a similar experience and we didn't even talk about it until Mom like called us out and she's like, this isn't a funny joke. And we're like, what are you talking about? And she's like, you guys got in this together. No, there was like a literal fucking ghost in my house or in my room.
Kim is their sister.
Yeah.
Yeah, sorry.
The youngest sister.
Yeah.
So that same friends, because I ran away from home and lived in his house for like my senior year. So their house 100 years before that was owned by a mortician.
Mm.
And so there were weird stuff happening. Like I look up in the window and there's a white cat, but they have a tabby cat. And I'm like, I seen this white cat upstairs. Is there a white cat? And they're like, that was Snowball. Like they had a white cat before that died. And then one day I came home from lunch. Our school was right around the corner. And I thought my buddy was home. So his bedroom's here and I have to go through his bedroom to get to my room. And I walk upstairs and look around the corner. I see a rocking chair rock back and a dude in a top hat. And I thought it was my friend Jake, but he had no eyelids. And he's looking at me like this and came back. And I thought it was my friend because he had a weird sense of humor. And he would be like Tom Greenish kind of thing. Mm-hmm. I turn the corner. I'm like, hey, Jake, what's going on? And then there's nobody in the rocking chair and the rocking chair's rocking back and forth.
Ooh.
And then, so I'd hang out in my room, and I'd be smoking a cigarette. Back in those days, I was a chimney, and like the ashtray would be in the middle of the table and just slide off. Or like in the middle of the night, there'd be a shadow of like a dude in a hat walking across the, like it was like somebody was there walking there, but there was nobody there, but there was a shadow. Now, the creepiest thing is my buddy had scars all over his back. From the moment I knew him. I knew him since, well, I was good friends with him probably since junior high. And he moved out of that house and those scars are gone.
Weird.
And now he has Parkinson's.
My.
I don't think that's all a coincidence.
Yeah. Well, again, like anything that I've at some point thought was some way supernatural, alien, whatever, like I've always found an explanation for what it is. And it's not because I'm a skeptic. I just look at, like I find out like reasons that certain things happen to me. There was one specific incident that actually happened when we had the big birthday party for you at Schoolyard Tavern stuff. So after everybody had left and it was kind of like you were very intoxicated and I think Eric drove you home that night. We won't go into details on that story, but one of the funniest things I ever saw was Eric trying to start your car. But everybody had left, and I think I was talking to, I think it was Frank, and I was talking to Frank for a little bit. He got in his car and left, and then I got in my car to head home, and like something felt weird, and like the roads were completely empty, the streets were empty, something felt weird. I got in my car and I started driving, and like as I was driving home, I started to feel like my skin was freezing cold, but I was like hot. Or no, I'm sorry, it was the other way. Like my skin was hot, but I was freezing cold on the inside. I was like, and I felt like somebody was in the back seat, like it was making me paranoid. I had to pull over at a gas station and like calm myself down. Like I didn't know what was going on. Anyways, made it home, got out of my car. I was like, fuck this. I don't know what's going on. I felt like something had jumped in my car. I told this story to a buddy of mine years later. And he's like, you know what that is, right? And I'm like, no. And he's like, you had an anxiety attack. He's like, it's your PTSD acting up. So he was like telling me like, that's something that can happen. He's like, something happened that triggered it subconsciously in your mind that something was wrong or you felt uncomfortable. And then you just kept playing on you. So I find these things that, this is a creepy experience that I had, but I always find some way to explain it away. Not because I'm trying to, just because I'm like, oh, you know what? This makes sense. I'm glad that somebody's like, I'm glad that I'm able to find those reasons. I wish I could say that I had a true paranormal experience, but I never have.
Yeah. I mean, there was definitely a ghost in that bar, but I think it just lived there. It was just chilling. I mean, again, I've had a lot of them because, I'm a very intuitive person, and a lot of them I can't explain away. Like, we had a house in college. It was like my first senior year. Yes, I did too. And there were 5 of us that lived there. 1, 2, 3. No, I'm sorry. There were 4 at the time. There were 3 upstairs, 1 in the basement. And we had a cat. And while our roommate downstairs was a guy. And while he was living there, no issues, whatever. And then he got evicted because the moron wouldn't put his mattress up against the wall to say we didn't have anybody living there because it wasn't a legal room. So he got evicted. Well, after he got evicted, the cat would go downstairs and we would hear it playing. And it's an old house, so it's like, okay, maybe there's like bugs or whatever. But then we took the cat over to my roommate's boyfriend's place because we weren't supposed to have a cat. We weren't supposed to do a lot of things in this house, apparently. And she calls me. I remember I went home for like 3 days because I was managing a bar. It was Christmas break. And she calls. She goes, Stef, you got to get back here. I'm like, why? She's like, there's something in our basement. She goes, I've been hearing all these things and like, it's just not normal. She's like, I can't stay there. And I'm like, well, why the fuck would I come back if you're not going to stay there? Like, put me in harm's way. So anyway, I get back and I walk up to the back door. And maybe it was part of my imagination, but like, you just felt like just terrified. So I would go in through the front, and I remember Sarah and I had a room across from each other, and you would hear this, like, I think it was a demon walking up the back steps of the basement, like really loud thuds. And then it would walk around our kitchen and it would walk between mine and Sarah's room. Well, we put like protection crystals and all that out, and it couldn't get into our room, but you would hear it pacing back and forth. And then like just really random things, like it would turn on the water faucets, like, and you could see in the bathroom because we had the frosted glass. So our other roommate would be like, hey, did you come in and turn on the glass? I'm like, no, you would see me there. And she's like, I don't know, this isn't right. So fine. I mean, when it was time for our lease to be up, like we ran out of that house because we were terrified. Like you would just hear it and you would just feel it and sense it. It was weird. That's my story.
Yeah,
I
remember that house.
They had a gym in the basement, and so I'd be there alone, home alone, working out in the basement, and then I'd hear people walking around and talking like there's like a big old party going on upstairs.
Mm-hmm.
I go upstairs, see if anybody's home, and it's quiet as a mouse up there. So that could have been the pipes going off. But it's like I was sitting there kind of really listening, like that really sounds like people walking and talking, and it's like The Shining.
Yeah.
Where he's in the ballroom. It's like what it reminds me of. Like there's a party going upstairs, and it's like I was more upset that they didn't invite me.
Well, so now with the aliens, like one of my friends, I don't know if I talked to you guys about this or somebody else, but the meat suits, you can actually see them walking around if you look carefully at people. There's certain people that you're like, ooh, that was a really bad disguise by the alien.
Well, my thing is, though, okay.
Walmart clientele.
Maybe they have, like, alien terrorists or something like that. Because, like, are these test nuclear bombings in the ocean really test? You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Or are we threatening them? Tell them, hey, don't start your shit.
We got nukes.
You know what I mean? Like, we're stupid enough to bomb each other.
Yeah,
we don't do it on you.
Well, the ocean's so big. Like, they always say you never know what's actually down there because we can't get all the way down there. So I believe it.
Well, shit, man. Look at the ocean scares me. But I'm honestly fascinated with it, too. But look at the monsters that are down there.
Mm-hmm.
Like a blobfish, a squid, you know? Like,
Megalodon.
Like,
I like the Meg.
We're not talking about my dick. We're not, but...
Jesus Christ.
But, no, you call me Rick. But, like...
You're on today, my friend.
Yeah, but, like, yeah, you never know what's going on down there. And like they're probably because they say that like we are actually running the ocean dry of fish. Because, you know, we've done it so much for so long, well, you know, all the nets and all that stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And, you know, you see how much fish we pull up with the nets and stuff like that. That, like, oh, maybe they're getting pissed at how.
It's like an Atlantis thing, like we're about to Aquaman.
I mean, you know what? The thing is, they've always had that technology. And if you watch, what's that show on Netflix, The Ancient Civilizations?
Yeah.
They really show that like technology was way more advanced than we really think way back when. Farther back than our written history, far back than what we found. And there's a lot of proof behind that. And there's pyramids not just in Egypt. There's pyramids here. There's pyramids in Mexico.
Yeah.
They just hide them.
Yeah.
Well, kind of.
Yeah. I mean, I'm interested in it, and I want to see what happened. Wasn't there just something that was declassified by a couple of astronauts that were... There was like a statement by a couple of astronauts that were saying that when they went to the moon and they flew around, like there was like a lot of stuff that ended up getting redacted from their mission logs or statements or something. This like happened recently.
Well, Neil Armstrong has always like said that he's been shut up.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think he's actually talked about believing that there's a base on the moon or something like that.
Yeah. Well, did you ever see that movie Iron Sky?
I don't think so.
Terrible fucking B movie, but it is the funniest goddamn thing ever. And it was made to be a terrible movie. And the whole premise of it is that the Nazis had a secret base on the moon. So it's all those like conspiracy theories that people talk about. And in that movie, like these 3 astronauts go to the moon and they find like this base, and it's where all the Nazis like escape to, right? And the whole thing gets wild. Like the one astronaut who's the main character, he's like a black guy, and they're like, "Oh, we're gonna make you an Aryan," and they like basically paint his skin white and try to make him part of their group. But like all the little Nazis are like, you know, still thinking that they're the greatest thing and that Hitler's still alive and all this. It got enough popularity that they made a second movie that had a Sarah Palin character that was a lizard person, and Adolf Hitler was in the Hollow Earth riding a dinosaur. And they converse. Like the movies were absolutely insane, but they were very amusing to watch. You should
Probably won't watch. Probably won't.
If you get a chance sometime, it's actually pretty funny. Like the whole concept is really funny because it just basically plays on all the conspiracy theories that people have about like politics and the Nazis and all this stuff. It's really funny.
Maybe I'll give it a try if I can't find anything else.
It's not good, but it's funny.
I probably won't watch it, but yeah, it exists.
It does exist. I've seen it.
I mean, I get around to watching stuff, so you never know. It might be on, and it might be on streaming or something like that. And
yeah, well, that's where I watched it. I think I just watched it on Netflix one day. I was like, I've seen trailers for it. It looks stupid, but I'm going to have to watch it because sometimes I just want to watch a stupid fucking movie.
You know what I watch when I want something stupid? This is embarrassing, but I've been...
Legally Blonde?
No, that's actually a pretty decent movie.
I like that movie.
I do like that movie.
Okay, go on.
Is it Jennifer Coolidge in that movie? I hate her so much.
Jennifer Coolidge? She's a national treasure.
I don't
That's
like
Stifler's
Jennifer
mom.
Coolidge. I don't like Jennifer Coolidge. I don't know what it is. It's like because like she got an award. She got an Emmy, I think, for White Lotus, which I watched and it was very good. But like her character was likable. I didn't think she was that good. I don't know what it is. Her character's
not supposed to be likable. Her character's supposed to be a needy rich bitch.
I don't think she's a good character actor. And like a lot of people hype her up and I'm like, she's not that great.
Oh no, she's a terrible actress because she just sounds stupid.
She says stupid things and like her lines are all bad. And I'm like, why are you doing this to her? Because I feel like she's
Stifler's mom though, so she gets
I know she's Stifler's mom. I get
that's all you need.
I don't know.
That's how she built her brand.
Yeah.
She bothers me.
Apparently she's had sex with like 500 people.
Yeah. She's very open about it.
Yeah, there was like she's talking about being Stifler's mom got her laid a lot.
Yeah.
She's a hound dog.
I love her though, because she's just like, yeah, I fucked a lot of people.
Yeah, I'm cool. Yeah, yeah, go for it.
Yeah, like
I
good.
ain't never getting laid with her. So, I mean, never say never, but you know.
Yeah.
I don't know
Probably
if she's
not,
gonna be.
but
Yeah, I don't know if she's gonna
unless
go
she's
to
gonna
Indiana.
unless her car breaks down and she shows up at your house because you don't leave your house.
Hey, I was supposed to go to a yoga retreat in 2 weeks, but that got moved till spring, and that's why I leave my house.
Sure. You do that in the cons. So there is a possibility you guys could cross paths at some point.
And I went to the sauna today.
There you go.
Big moves, man. Actually, I was watching The Last of Us, and have you guys watched it?
Of course, it's the
About
greatest
halfway
game of all
through.
time.
Are you being serious? I don't know if you're.
The greatest
he's
video
being
game
serious.
of all time.
He loves that game.
Yeah, but there's like a show.
I know.
Everybody
Well,
knows.
yeah, if it's the greatest video game of all time, of course I'm going to watch the show.
Okay, so I watched episode 3, and I'm brand new to this. So Steve got me into it, and I was like, this is actually pretty good. He's like, skip episode 2. You need to watch episode 3 right now. And I'm very like, I can't just skip
The gay
around.
one.
Yeah, but the guy, Ron Swanson.
Nick Offerman, yes.
Yes, he reminded me so much of Rick in that, because he's this like kind of doomsday prepper, so like recluse, and this guy just shows up at his house and they end up like falling in love. I'm sorry if I'm spoiling this for anybody.
I mean, that's kind of how me and Rick met.
We're
But I
still
was
in
like-
love.
Still in love, yes. But I'm like-
Heterosexual life mates.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, these two are not heterosexual.
Yeah,
life mates.
heterosexual.
You have
Sorry,
tried
guys,
to
I'm
cuddle
moving
me.
a lot.
You have tried to cuddle me when we've shared a bed.
I believe that. I've seen you two together.
Yeah,
But yeah, so I was like, I can't hear myself.
We can hear you.
Hold on.
yeah, unfortunately.
Still recording.
Oh, it's my fault. There we go. I turned it down. So
We didn't
anyway,
think it was our fault.
I was like, why can't I hear anything? I didn't realize there was a
Just
volume.
muting
on
her.
this. Well, I kept saying you're still recording. I'm like, I don't know what I'm saying. But anyway, so I'm watching, and like Nick Offerman did a fantastic job. Like he really played his part well, and like was very believable. But I'm sitting there watching it, and I'm like, this is 100% Rick. Like he would have everything ready to go, and like he would have the borders up and like all the electric fences and all the torches in case anybody tried to infiltrate his compound. But yeah, so I thought of you.
I have been thinking about how to put a wall around my house and put cameras on the wall and barbed wire on top.
That's
We'll be
fair.
thinking about how I'm going to get the money for that.
Yeah.
And then I thought about how I can set booby traps in the woods
That's-
behind my house.
I mean, I guess.
Normal thought processes.
But I'm worried for the deer.
Yeah.
But I want to set up a claymore back there.
You just
But I
start
don't want
hearing landmines go
I
off.
want like
Yeah.
Family and deer. Got them. Kids
I
are
want-
eating good tonight.
Yeah.
well, the deer is
Percent.
kind of like a neighborhood pet.
Yeah.
Like they
Oh, you
come-
like actually have like set deer?
Yeah, they are always, they just run around the yards and stuff like that. So they're kind of like our neighborhood pets.
Mm.
So I don't want to hurt the deer. But I love it. I'm vegetarian, so I love animals. So,
Except for wolves. We hate fucking wolves.
I don't like the wolf movement. Like, they're just fucking, they're so egotistical.
I thought we said we weren't bringing this up.
But the Last of Us, there was a lot of complaints again because of DEI and all that stuff, or DIE or whatever it is. Like every leader's got to be a woman, and then they have the gay thing, which I don't really care. In the game, there was no indication that they were gay or anything, but I guess it's not. There wasn't anything that they weren't gay. And in the game, it was just Nick Offerman's character, and the other dude was actually hanging. He killed himself, so he wasn't actually in the game. So it's almost like, oh yeah, we were best friends. They like got more elaborate and made him gay. That was the thing. It was like, oh, now they're a gay couple, and now we're gonna introduce them into the show. But like in the game, it was just like, you meet Nick Offerman's character, I forget his name, and he helps you, and he's mad because the dude fucked him over, and it was his buddy, and he hung himself. and that was it.
I haven't played the game yet.
Well, you should. It's the greatest game of all time.
Well, it's only on PlayStation. That's the one system I've never had.
It's on PC now, but
it is on PC.
So here's the thing. The Last of Us, it's like, okay, Joel doesn't want Ellie, doesn't want nothing to do with Ellie, doesn't give a shit that she can save mankind, doesn't give a shit about any of that. He doesn't want the responsibility. And you really, in the game, is all about their relationship. How it becomes he don't give a shit about her, and she's just this lost girl, you know what I mean? And abandoned orphan. And then, but like in the beginning of the game, his daughter dies. And that's why he doesn't want nothing to do with her. And then he kind of becomes his daughter.
Yeah.
And because there's a part where he thinks she's dead. He's like, my baby. And he's crying. And that's where you're just like tearing up. But the second one, because this is where they wanted to really screw it up because of wokeness, they really fucked it up. So I don't want to say anything because I don't want to ruin the second season. I already know what happens in the second one. I'm still playing it because I haven't been able to get through it because it makes me gag. It's not that the game's bad. It's just they did a horrible job. It's just what they did to Joel. And they kind of really fucked up Joel. That's the thing. You know, and it's like you care about that guy. And they really make him out to be a shitbag. Kind of in the end. Or in the beginning of the second game. And so it's like, what the fuck? But it's because they wanted to make way for this transgender character to be a main character, but this transgender, I don't know if it's a man or woman. It looks like Scott Steiner from WCW, WWE. And she is a total douchebag and an asshole and a bad guy. And it's like, why do I care about this character? This is the character that really fucked over Joel, and she is a piece of shit.
Huh.
I haven't gotten that far in the series. I won't play the game.
Well, that'll be the second season.
Yeah.
So the second season's not out yet.
Okay.
But it's based off the game, so you'd think that they're going off the game.
And I like the show, and I've got to finish it at some point. I'm like almost done, and I just go back to it once in a while.
Keep talking it.
It was
if
a little
you
boring.
liked it, you finished it. It's not.
I didn't.
If you don't start the show and say, I like the show, and then never watch it, I'm sorry. If I like a show, I'm fucking watching that show. It's really easy to binge. There's like 8 episodes.
I didn't like it as much as you did, but I like the show for the most part was entertaining at times. But I never played the games. Like I wasn't as into it. And I know some people
plant zombies.
I know what it's about.
What's not to like about it?
I was like, it's okay. I don't know. Maybe I'm burnt out on the zombie.
Who watches a show about plant zombies and doesn't finish it?
I just don't know. Like it just didn't hold me to a point where I'm like, I got to know what happens next. It just didn't do that for me.
You weren't paying attention.
I was paying attention. You have to know
what happens next.
I watched the
third episode. Go back and you're not going to know what's going on.
Yeah, it is one you do have to pay attention to.
No, you don't.
For the most part, I know what's going on.
What's going on?
Wait, I'm only on episode 3. Stop.
I don't think he's past episode 1.
I've watched at least 4 episodes. I don't know. Stuff's happened. People are shooting at zombie plant things. There's mushroom spores trying to like turn people into weird looking, I don't know, some kind of zombies. They're like fungus zombies. I don't know. It's weird. It's like fucking Super Mario Brothers.
See, he doesn't have any idea what's going on in the show.
I know it's going. Fuck you.
He thinks it's a Super Mario Brothers movie with there's fungus and stuff.
People are turning into fungus and stuff. That was like the whole premise of Super Mario Brothers.
He's like, where's John Leguizamo at?
Love John Leguizamo. I would probably finish the show already if John Leguizamo was in it.
He's like, where's Dennis Hopper at? When's he going to show up?
Well, he's dead, so he's not going to be making an appearance this season.
Well, there's zombies in it.
Fungus zombies.
Dennis Hopper and Bob Hoskins can make an appearance.
I don't know. I enjoyed the show while I watched it, but I wasn't like, I need to finish this. I got to keep watching. It wasn't like watching like Fallout. Fallout, I binge watched in a day and a half.
But the thing is,
great.
like, you watched, this show's been out for like 2 or 3 years. You're like, I watched it 2 or 3 years ago, and I still gotta finish it. Like, I'm sorry. That's not something you go, oh, I really liked it. I'll finish it in 3 years.
I liked it. I'll finish it eventually.
10 years later, he's like, I'll finish it.
Fine. I'll fucking finish it this weekend if it'll shut you the fuck up.
It's like we fucking moved on to something else. Like, what was The Last of Us? I remember that.
I'll finish it this weekend. Shut the fuck up.
But speaking of which, speaking of HBO shows that we've never watched, I started watching Vice Principals with Danny McBride and Walter Goggins, and apparently that came out in 2016. And it's basically Eastbound and Down, except they're in a high school. And Jesus. I just finished on the most awkward scene with Walter Goggins, because Walter Goggins like a total piss ass, but like he like stabs you in the background, but he's so flamboyant in it. He's such a good actor because he's just really flamboyant in it. I don't know if he's like really gay or something like that. Like, I don't know anything about him, because they'll be like, because he's like this hard badass in like The Shield and stuff like that, and now he's like plays the flamboyant character a little too good. But he's not gay in it.
Well, he's a good actor.
He is a great actor.
But he's like just flamboyant for no reason. Because he's got like this hot Asian wife and stuff like that. But like,
well, with all the shows he's been on, and as great as he does, it's funny, like he's just finally getting an Emmy nomination for Fallout. Because he was so good in that.
But he's good in this, and it's like, him and Danny McBride, they start out hating each other. Bill Murray's the principal, and then he retires, and it's like, okay, who's going to be the next principal? And then they're at each other's throats. And then they become like best friends, and it's kind of funny how they support each other too, because they're such dicks. Like it was like they were dicks to each other, now they're dicks to everybody else, and it's so funny. And it was good up until the scene where they actually had high school kids banging, and the girl was naked. And I was like, I know she's of age, but like, you know, in 2024, with all this talk about pedophile rings and stuff like that, like, people would be sitting there saying something about that.
Yeah. Well, and I love Danny McBride. He's so funny in everything he's in. And he plays basically the same asshole character. Me
up.
He's so funny, though. Like, Your Highness, which was a terrible... What's not a good movie, but it's funny. But it's funny, and it's funny because of Danny McBride. He's just such a good... He's so funny, and just his delivery of everything is so great. This is the end. He was great playing himself as the asshole, like, friend of the group and everything. I love that movie.
He is straight. He is married to a woman named Nadia.
Walton Goggins.
Well,
but if you watch Sons of Anarchy... He played the transgender prostitute in there and did such a fantastic job. I didn't know who he was, and I'm sitting there like watching The Righteous Gemstones, which he plays a big role in. I'm like, how do I know this actor? And I like looked him up, and I'm like, oh, no shit. He was Venus Van Dam, I think was the name, or something like that.
Well, Danny McBride in this, he plays the same character. He's a completely douchebag. Everybody hates him. But it's almost like he's trying too hard. Everything's black and white for him. It's the funniest thing about him is he's always trashing his ex-wife's boyfriend. His ex-wife's boyfriend's like very supportive of him. He's like, before anybody was announced for the principal job, he was like, yeah, I got the principal job. And then him and her wife's ex-boyfriend, or his ex-wife's boyfriend and his daughter, like, threw him a surprise party in his house. And he's like, fuck you. Why'd you come in my house? You know, because he's so nice and supportive of him, and he's always trashing on him. It's so funny.
I mean, he does play the same type of role. He's always that asshole, like, fuck up.
He's typecasted.
Yeah, but his one-liners are so good.
He's creating these shows, though. I think I started watching The Righteous Gemstones. I haven't finished that. I gotta keep watching that.
The first thing that I knew him from was Pineapple Express. That was the first time I had really experienced Danny McBride.
Yeah,
and he was so funny. And then after that, it was Eastbound and Down, which is a great show.
There was another show before that.
There was another show, and I'm trying to think of what it was.
He was like somebody's brother. He was like somebody's brother in some movie.
I don't know.
It was very low key. What was that? Was it Drillbit Taylor or something like that?
It might have been. I'm looking it up right now.
It was like more of like this family, and he was the brother, and he was just this douchebag brother, and he was low key the best character in the movie. And then like I kept seeing him show up as the same character.
Yeah. Well, and again, he plays the part so well, and everything he's in. Hot Rod. Okay.
He was
I haven't seen that one, but I heard it was actually really good. It was.
I'm surprised you haven't seen that one. Andy Samberg?
Yeah. From what I heard, that one was just ahead of its time. And it was
so good.
Yeah. I heard it was really good, and I haven't seen it yet.
Oh, it's so good. I definitely suggest watching that.
Yeah. Hot Rod. And then there was The Foot Fist Way, which I saw like most of. I don't think I saw all of it, which is like one of his first movies that he was in.
I think he actually like wrote and made the movie.
Yeah. I just remember I see scenes from it every now and then, and like
Jody Hill. Jody Hill's the one that makes Eastbound and Down and now Vice Principals and stuff like that. So him and Jody Hill are like best friends. But one of the girls in this show, her name is, if I can make my way back, I didn't know this was out, but she's a voice. Her name is Georgia King. She does voice acting for a cartoon, Star Trek cartoon that's like more adult oriented on Paramount Plus.
That's a good show.
I haven't watched that. I've never even heard of it.
Star Trek Below Decks. It's actually really funny. So they make fun of Star Trek a lot in there. And Dennis Quaid does the... no, not Dennis Quaid. What's the son? I don't know.
Yeah, Quaid.
You know who I'm talking about. The guy who plays Huey in The Boys. Yeah, so he's like the main character and everything. But they do a lot of really funny stuff on there. A lot of it you have to kind of know Star Trek to get the jokes. But I did watch that show. I think I watched the full first season. And it was really funny. Jack Quaid. That's who it was. Yeah, so Jack Quaid... He's really good in there. If
Ariel Winter's in it.
She is.
I only say that because I have like seen her in a long time.
Yeah,
like George Takei's in it. So
yep,
but he doesn't play Sulu.
No, because this is more like this is like way later on. So I think Sulu's probably even dead. I think it was like the Picard era still. But it's funny because they'll always talk about the Enterprise in there and like all the adventures they go on. And like it has a lot of inside jokes. If you know even a little bit about Star Trek, you'll get a lot of the jokes in there.
Yeah, I'll check it out if I ever get Paramount Plus again, which I think I get it free with the Walmart, but I've never used it.
We just did that. We canceled our Paramount Plus and got the Walmart subscription, and we got
Paramount I have Plus Walmart subscription. I never use it on the Paramount Plus. I just use it to deliver my peppermint tea.
Again, Rick not leaving his house.
That's true.
Yeah.
My wife will go out to pick up groceries, but I'll get stuff delivered. I got pissed because the dude dropped off the Sam's Club's delivery. I leave at the door. And the dude's sitting there knocking on my door. I'm like, what do you want? He goes, oh, I'm new. It says I'm supposed to have someone sign something. I'm like, it says leave at the door. I don't want to have contact with you.
My DoorDash people do that. I literally specify leave it at the door and I buzz them in and they're supposed to leave it on the stairs and they'll like walk up my stairs and deliver it to me. I'm like, no, like just leave it. That's literally what it means. I don't want to talk to you. I don't want you to see me looking like a cave troll.
I think they're thinking. I think they're thinking that's how porn movies start out.
Until they see me and they're like, oh shit, this bitch hasn't showered in 2 days.
You got hairy legs.
Yeah.
like a baboon.
It's more like when I order like Chinese food and I order for 4 people, but it's just me. I don't want them judging me.
So 4 people, that's the right amount to not get judged.
I don't grocery shop, I don't cook, so I order so I can eat it over a period of time. And then like when they come to the door, I'm like, oh, don't worry, babe, I got it. Pretending there's somebody else here. There's not. It's just me. Like, I don't need 5 chopsticks.
I do that. Yeah.
She's like, yeah, guys. She's like, she's trying to act like Rick Moranis in Ghostbusters, like she's having a party in there.
Yeah.
She's got the music blaring. Yeah, I'll get it.
I used to do that when I would get a family pack of Oreos and a bunch of Twinkies and stuff, and I go to the grocery store and they'd like look at me and I'd be like, yeah, my wife's pregnant. This is before I was even like dating anybody. Be like, my wife's pregnant.
Yeah.
See, when I do go out, if I go to the movies, I go by myself and I don't care. Like, I don't give a crap. I go to the movies by myself. Sometimes I'll take I went to that Supernatural convention by myself with Charlie Brown. Me and Charlie Brown went. And everybody loved us.
Who's Charlie Brown?
It's my service dog.
I thought you had like a stuffed toy Charlie Brown.
Yes, I have a Peanuts stuffed toy. Oh, hey, guys!
Like, they still let you come around?
They're holding my Charlie Brown.
Literally, that's the picture in my head.
Season 6, episode 7.
Did you ever see the movie Lars and the Real Girl?
No.
I have where he's dating a mannequin.
Yeah, that's exactly what I thought of. Like you just having a Charlie Brown mannequin walking
It's
around.
my
Like, this is
friend.
my friend. And everyone's looking at you with pity and they're like, this poor guy.
Yeah, they love me. They love me and Charlie Brown.
Well, yeah,
and DJ Qual and what's his partner's name? Ty Olson. Like,
yeah,
we hang out together. They invite me over for couples dinners and stuff.
Yeah. Okay.
Me and Charlie Brown.
Yeah, sure.
I hope that like one day this gets over to him and he's like, who the fuck is this creepy dude?
They'll know Charlie Brown. They all remember. I'm telling you. They all remember Charlie. If I say Charlie Brown, they're like, oh, it's that guy.
Oh my
They
God.
all remember Charlie Brown. Like the whole time I was there, they're like, hey, Charlie Brown. Every time we walked by. But Ben Savage was scared of him.
Really?
Yeah, because he's like, it says don't pet. I better not. I'm like, because I let all the celebrities pet him.
That's fair.
Good. Yeah.
But like Ben Savage, like, I better not. He's so neurotic, but he's fun.
It's like
So
at the
weird.
airport, I want to pet all the service dogs and all the like police dogs. And they just stare at you. They're handlers and they're like, you can't do that. I'm like, but he looks like he wants to be pet.
People come up and ask if they could pet. And I'm like, I don't care. Charlie Brown will see my dog's trained. I used to take him to the rehab with me, and he'd have like 40 women all loving on him. He's a pimp. And then the moment I get up and walk out, he gets him and walk out, and all the girls going, aw. Like he'll just follow me right out.
Yeah.
Like when I'm at the conventions, I'll have little 5-year-olds, 6-year-olds going, can I pet your dog? I'm like, $5. And I'm like, nah, I'm just joking. Go ahead. Like I always let the little kids pet them.
Yeah. Well, that's good. That's nice. Special.
I did want to talk about a show I just started watching. It just came out, St. Denis Medical. It's on Peacock, I think. It's actually it's a pretty funny show. It's mockumentary style like The Office.
It's David Allen Greer.
It's got David Allen Greer. It's got Wendy McLendon Covey.
Love her.
She's funny in everything she's in.
Mm-hmm.
She's like the hospital like executive director. It's got Josh Lawson, who was Kano in the Mortal Kombat movie, the recent one. And he's like one of the funniest characters because he's like a surgeon. But like it has some really funny moments in it. And they haven't done a lot of character development for anybody yet. It's just been kind of a lot of jokes at this point. But like one of the best things is Josh Lawson walking around as his character Bruce. And he's trying to explain to like the camera crew, he's like, it's all about, saving people. He's like, if I could save one life, one good person and keep them on this earth and blah, blah. He's going through this and he's like, so let's, hey, let's talk to this guy. And they open the curtain and the guy's sitting there with all these tattoos. He's like, finally a white doctor. And he's like, all right, let's go to the next person. Let's go to the next one. But like, there's just all these funny situations. And I find it funny just because of my line of work and everything. But the show is actually like, it's really funny. They've got some good writing in it. David Allen Greer is always funny, and he plays this like kind of older doctor, and like they did this whole bit in the second episode where they're trying to hook him up with like an older woman who's like his age, but he refuses to admit that he's old and he doesn't want to date her because of her age. He's like, no, I typically like to stay around like the 30s and 40-year-olds. He's like, I'm 67, no big deal. And like he refused to say it. And like when the woman asked him, like, "Oh, what do you do for fun?" He's like, extreme sports like skydiving and like says out a bunch of other things. The show's really funny, and I hope that keeps developing and they actually have some good character development in it. Like I said, they haven't done a whole lot of that yet, but they've only had 2 episods out, so I'm looking forward to seeing what else. Yeah, it's on Peacock.
So my thing about Peacock is they have a sitcom that comes out for a season or 2. Like Girls 5 Ever, which I thought the first season was hilarious because it's so fucking stupid. But also AP Bio, which that just came on Netflix now. It's basically Dennis Reynolds from It's Always Sunny, but he's a teacher. And it's freaking amazing.
I remember that show.
Yeah, I wish they would keep going. What is going on? Hopefully, like Netflix kind of picks things up and then they keep making seasons, but then they come out every 3 or 4 years. They always do revivals. Yeah. But my question is, so Caitlin Olsen, they keep putting her in shows that keep failing.
Yeah.
Why are they trying to push Caitlin Olsen? She's got a new one I want to check out, but I don't think it'll pan out.
Wasn't the Mick pretty good? I think I saw a couple episodes, but I never really...
It was funny.
Got that into it.
It was funny.
Mom and Dad made me watch it because they're like, Stef, she's you. And I was like, okay. So I start watching it, and she's just a train wreck.
She's you. That's nice. That's
and I'm watching it, and I'm like, I was like, huh. All right.
She's you.
She's like homeless and like... Yeah. They're like, no, like she reminds us of you because she's just wild and does random things and like won't settle down.
They're trying to backwalk it now. No, it's because you do zany stuff.
Yeah, literally. I was like, I don't know if I should be offended by this, but like, kinda. If anybody's watched The Mick, I am not like that. I mean, maybe a little bit, but like
the cover of it is like her throwing like a beer, and then there's like a fire happening behind them. Yeah. The house is on fire, and like the maid's holding a beer. And she's got a 6-pack in her hand. Like, that's you. That's you.
Yeah. Literally, I was like, they said it so
damage.
They said it so nonchalantly too. They're like, oh yeah, you should try it because like they're just the main character is just like you. I'm like,
she's, like every picture she's drinking.
Yeah. And just like causing a ruckus, I was like the breast implant episode where she loses the breast implants and ruins them. And I'm just like, I don't see how this is relatable to me, but I guess I'm a little disturbed by what my family thinks of me.
That's your parents. Like, I wouldn't have said that. I really wouldn't have. Like, it's just your parents in the moment.
And just like, and they were dead serious too. It wasn't even like making fun of me.
Oh my God. Well, I'm laughing because I'm a therapist, so I know, like, I'm thinking, it's like,
I have emotional damage.
Yeah, but like, that really sounds like something that would happen in a show. Hey, look, she's an emotionally immature drunk like you who can't find a job, and now she's a nanny. Just like you. Look, she's single, and she's in her, he's just like you.
Yep.
That kind of hurt.
But we're going to entrust her with children. And, well, I guess Adam and Sarah kind of do that with me.
Yeah.
Entrust me with their child.
I mean, under supervision.
Well, I trust you with my child. I trust you more than Adam with my child.
Why?
I trust you with my dog.
I'm great with children.
I'll trust you with my dog.
I'm great with children. I've watched Lana before.
I don't think you and Lana would get along now. I think Stef and Lana would get along.
We probably wouldn't get along. I used to remember there used to be good times where I would show up to your house and she'd be like, Uncle Adam, come and see my room. And she would show me everything in her room. I'd be like,
I think you guys would get along. I think you just wouldn't know what she's talking about.
Probably not. I don't understand a lot of things that kids talk about nowadays.
Well, she will sit there and talk 100 miles an hour about anime and stuff.
Going back to Caitlin Olsen, so speaking of, I know that It's Always Sunny and Abbott Elementary are doing a crossover episode. I don't know shit about Abbott Elementary, but the fact that the Always Sunny crew is coming on there to do an episode makes me kind of want to watch it now. to see like exactly how they're going to relate. I just think it's like, because to me, like for some reason, I guess I always thought Abbott Elementary was more of a serious show, and to have the Always Sunny crew come on it definitely negates that. So now I'm thinking maybe it's not so serious. I don't know. I've never seen the show. Like, I'm looking it up on IMDb.
It's a mockumentary sitcom
comedy. Yeah. I mean, so I guess it is a funny show. For some reason, I always got this impression it was a more serious show. Maybe it's worth a watch.
Maybe.
If it's got It's Always Sunny coming out there. Huh. Well, you never know. It might be a good show. Maybe I'll have to watch it after I finish watching Last Man Standing again.
Yeah, check it out. I'm sorry, Steph. I thought it was...
No, it is funny. I'm just so used to, like...
Look at this bitch. She's a total trash bag.
Yeah, Adam, you got to watch it, and you'll understand why this is just kind of like...
All right. Well, thank you, everybody, for joining us this week. We look forward to seeing you next week. Make sure to follow us on Facebook. Check out our YouTube, and we'll see you next time.
Level up, guys.
Bye.
I always want to...